Peace and blessings. Namaste to all light warriors, workers, and everything in between. It is I, Sophie, today, and I want to talk to you about light language because it's a fun topic. And I'm noticing that during this grand shift, a lot of people are new to it or becoming aware of it. And it throws people off sometimes. And I just want to bring some clarity on what light language is, where it comes from, and the difference between light language and what people would consider tongues in Christianity. So let's take it there, okay? It's time to go. All right, so far, I have realized that there are 3 distinct levels of light language, okay? That our spirit has the ability to access. And the reason why we are having the ability to access this is because our ancient souls, okay, and our soul journeys went through varying levels of languages, okay? And there are celestial languages that have a hard time translating through our human tongues, okay? Rather that is English or French or wherever, you're hailing from. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to just say English to not cause too much confusion. So there are 3 levels of light language, okay? One was considered ancient Enochian. All right, ancient Enochian was considered the tongue of the gods or the tongue of the high angels. And the Enochian language resides in the 9th dimensional areas, okay? Then we have ancient Ugarit, okay? And Ugarit was considered the tongue of the Elohim, okay? And ancient Ugarit resides in the 6th dimensional realm, okay? Then we have what people would consider Voynich, and Voynich tongue was associated with more of star seeds or extraterrestrials. All right. So these are the 3 that we can thoroughly identify. Is there possibly more? I am sure, but these are the 3 that I know. Okay. And it is Enochian, Ugarit, and Voynich. Okay. And these 3 languages are not of human origin at all. Okay, but the human soul, the human spirit, or those of us who incarnated here, we have access to these languages depending on how much of our DNA we were able to unlock, during this time. Now, there is a distinct difference between these ancient languages that we consider light language and what people might consider tongues. All right. So let's explore that for a little bit. For those who grew up in church or religious institutions, there was a time of Pentecost, all right, that we read about in the New Testament. And it was when the apostles went out and they spoke and started ministering and prophesying and all of this. And they had gained so much momentum because of their power that many humans started traveling from different regions and from different tribes to hear them speak. And when they started to speak, each tribe was able to hear the message in their own language. Now, did it mean that the apostles at that time were speaking different languages? No, that was the translation that was going on in here in the mind, because those who came to listen actually accessed a higher level of consciousness during that time. So a lot of times we get all of this mixed up and we think that that's what was happening at the day of Pentecost, but it wasn't correct. Paul liked to talk about how he speaks the languages of the angels, and what he was referring to was Enochian at that time. Okay, that was an Enochian language. What we will see sometimes in church or religious institutions is a spirit language, but not necessarily a light language, because sometimes the soul expression, okay, or the spirit expression has a very hard time relating its messages from the English language to an angelic language. So what ends up happening is there becomes like some sort of amalgamation of different languages, which are human languages, that will all sometimes come together and create this unique language so that the spirit has the ability to really translate what is going on. There are some words that go on, there are some words that have meaning in the higher realms that we don't have here on this realm, and vice versa. So when people are saying that they're speaking in tongues, a lot of times these are actual human languages, but it's an amalgamation of different human languages. So hence the tongue might, some words might sound Hebrew, Aramaic, Arabic, Coptic, anything like that. And it's just, your spirit's expression, and trying to reach for the right language or the right language patterns or the right words to relate a message. Okay, so that's what the tongue experience is. But there is light languages, especially for those of us, who are multidimensional, or for those of us who have access and we have incorporated our higher self into ourselves and we know where we're coming from. Then typically when you start to speak a light language, it will be Enochian, Ugaritic, or Voynich. So enjoy it. Have fun with it. It was designed for you. It was designed for your spirit to use, and you don't have to fear it. And if you're just starting on this light language journey and you haven't been doing it for a while, don't be ashamed if you're only starting to speak certain syllables at first. Because remember, just like with any language, you start with an alphabet. You start with small words, and then it starts to develop over time, okay? So don't beat yourself up if it doesn't sound beautiful in the beginning. Just continue to practice this light language until it manifests. And you'll see a change because your spirit knows what it needs. That's all. I am Sophie, and have a wonderful day.